wage full-out war. They would take what they can, raid, and leave. And now what? You haven't had to fight a battle. God says we're going to go the long way around because they're not ready. If they see war, they're going to turn and they're going to run. And now all of a sudden war finds them. And God sends a man. Who's the man? Joshua. And he gets him up and he goes, okay, you know you've been following Moses, right? Yes. It's time to go to battle. What? Let's put on all our military gear. Oh wait, there is none. Now I have to go to war. Get your stick in your box. Alright? But he goes out with God, but something very interesting happens. Moses, Aaron, and a guy called who? They go up onto a mountain. And it says, as long as Moses kept his hands up, they made ground, and they were doing it. But Moses is really old now. Okay? He's probably in his 80th year, 80 plus, somewhere around there. And then he's sitting there, so he has to get Aaron and Hur, and they're sitting there holding up his arms. Because every time his arms drops, Amalek would make ground. And every time he puts his hands up, then Joshua and the people would take ground. Now this is not some weird Macarena dance, everybody. God is trying to teach you something. You will be victorious through praise, through supplication, lifting up your hands to your source. It is about God's victory, not yours. You cannot overcome a fly. You did not come out of Egypt, and yet he has them marching out, says troop by troop. A military formation, raising a flag. And they come out and then they say that once they were victorious, there is something beautiful there. That they actually go in and they say, Adonai Nissi.
Sorry, wasn't he holding the staff up?
Sorry?
Wasn't he holding the staff up?
I think it was his hands, but the staff could have been part of the authority. Check me.
Check, where is it?
Check me. Egg number 1 point. Okay? Adonai Nissi. The Lord is mine. The Lord is my banner. And I hold up this banner. This is who I fight under. This is a military signal. This is my God. Okay? Dun, 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 dun. It's Exodus 17 verse 7 around there. Okay? They also go into what's mentioned here is the stages. So that says, scripture says they go in and they camped, section for section. Sometimes they camped a day, sometimes they camped a year. So there are stages in your life where you stop and you think of God, it has to change. Why is this taking so long? Why am I stuck in the same position? You've got to learn. Sometimes you will look at the same broom tree in the same wilderness for a year. Those things can only be so exciting for so long. You don't have TV, you don't have Facebook, so you're going to be sitting there looking at the tabernacle going, can we move now? Now? Okay, we wait. Now? Because until the Shekhinah lifted off the tabernacle and moved ahead of them, they stayed. When it rested, you can. Very simple truth. When God moves, you move. When He tells you sit, you sit. Because when you go into this wilderness moment, it is not like the great the Kalahari or something like that that's completely flat and you look out for miles and you can see forever. You're talking about mountains of rock, sand. And you look in one section and then all of a sudden you can see maybe 800 meters ahead of you and then you can't see anything because it looks like it comes to a stop. But then there's another way that you can go. You don't know what's around the corner. And never mind that, you have flashlights. Okay? You have these things called wadis. Wadis are very sharp ravines. They kind of do this, one mountain to another mountain, water rushes in and it gets funneled. It washes away roads even today. People get airlifted out of Eilat area, which is down south, because the roads get washed away. I'm not talking about a little Pandoki road, I'm talking about a dual carriageway. 4 lanes. It gets so covered with sand and rock that they don't know where the road is. You have to get bulldozers out to scrape the road, to find the road, and then you can start worrying about it. This happens almost every year. People die in Israel. The highest fatality rate comes from flash floods. Not terrorism, not Hamas, not old age, flash floods. Okay? And this is a country who's permanently at war. Think about that for a second. Okay? So you don't know when or what's around the corner. You don't know if there's another army coming around the other side, bent on your destruction. So sometimes you just have to sit tight. Sometimes you have to spend a little time in the wilderness to learn to trust God. Sometimes you have to sit and you have to look to the tabernacle. Let me help you out here. This is not the tabernacle. What you can do, how you want to do it, that's not what's going to fix it. One lower there as well. And then just behind you, sir, there's another one. Okay? What we want to do is get up and fix the situation ourselves. That is not your job. You gave over those reins when you said you are God. That makes you not good. It's not your life, it's His. Okay? Alright. We have about 15 minutes. This is going to be fun. Oh, he brings them up all the way to the thing. I want you guys to fast forward to Exodus 19 for me. This makes my heart happy as you guys roll up. Favorite test. Seriously? Okay. Right, I'm going to read from verse 1, I'm going to go up to verse 7. Right. In the 3rd month after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt, the same day they came to the Sinai desert. After setting out from Rephidim and arriving in the Sinai desert, they set up camp in the desert. There in front of the mountains, Israel set up camp. Moshe went up to God, and Adonai called to him from the mountain. Here is what you are to say to the household of Yaakov and to the people of Israel. Again, I will make the point. If it was just about the Jews, the household of Jacob would have been enough. A physical seed. Why does he mention the household of Israel as well? Because of the mixed multitude that left with them. It wasn't just Jews here. There were people who saw that God was God and they said, alright, enough of Egypt, I'm going where He's going. Okay? You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now if you will pay careful attention to what I say and keep my covenant, then you will be my own treasure from among all the peoples. For all the earth is mine, and you will be a kingdom of priests, a kingdom of kohanim for me, a nation set apart. These are the words you have to speak to Israel. So I've gone through all of this. From Pesach, all the plagues to a build-up to get you to understand one single thing. You will be a nation set apart, and you'll be a kingdom of priests. You're mine. Moses got told. God who created everything, who owns everything, who created diamonds and jewels and gold and all the rest of it, at an offshoot of a spoken word says, no, I don't need that, I want you. I've carried you. And I've brought you to me. Look at the journey, man. I will lead you. And then I'll pop you for the place where you can't get there by yourself. Then I will make a way. And I'll remind you about where you come from. And remind you can't, what you're trusting in isn't going to work. Then I'm going to show you what I want you to become. Then I'm going to teach you how we're going to do it. Flesh in the evening. And even though there's a little bit of war, you're going to get through this with my authority. And God will be that living water that sustains you. Who are you, Lord? Each stage, in your life is a lesson. Sometimes you will be dealing with a manna. Sometimes you will be looking at a Red Sea. Sometimes you will look at your past. Sometimes you will look at your future. Sometimes you will face people who want to pick on the weak and innocent around you. This is not about your battles, this is about God's. This is about you understanding who you are with Him, in Him. This is the pattern for counting the Omer. Out of interest's sake, you've come to the 50th day. He goes up to the mountain and he starts meeting with God, and that's where they start to go in. What does the number 50 represent? Sorry? Release? Jubilee, yeah, that's right. Restoration. Okay? Get this. A bride price, we know at some point they paid 50 shekels. Or the Levite was to serve to the age of 50 years, and then thereafter he was brought in to teach. Torah, the word Torah is mentioned 50 times in Torah, and this is the one that strikes me the most, is the curtain, the parochet, that separated the Holy of Holies from the rest in the tabernacle, had 50 hooks on. That restoration, that coming home. Okay? This same 7 of sevens comes in with 7 sabbatical years, or 7 Sabbaths. You guys know the Shemitah? God said, you will, when I bring you into the land, on the 7th year you will let it rest. You don't go and plow and sow seed and all the rest of it. Whatever pops up at the ground, that you will eat. So you wait and you look at God's provision. Because you remember, it's about God's covenant. It's about His completion. His perfect plan. You're where you're supposed to be. And then He says on the 50th year, whatever you have sort of lost, if you have had bad crops, or your parents have had bad crops, and you've had to go and work for someone else, in the 50th year you get to go back home. It says, God says the land is mine. I give it back to you. This is about God restoring you. It's about bringing you home. Okay? Now very quickly, we're going to look at some fun things. If we look at what happened from the time Yeshua being our Passover sacrifice happened. In 3 days there was a resurrection from the crucifixion, right? And when God came down to, when we're looking at this portion just here where I read in Exodus 19, He says, go and prepare Israel. He says, in 3 days I'll appear before you. In 3 days God came, okay? When God came out, He started to appear to certain people. Okay? He appeared to Mary Magdalene, He appeared to Miriam, his mom, Mary. He appeared to the disciples on the road to Emmaus. He appeared to the disciples in their midst. 8 days later He appears, remember, with Thomas, who said, unless I see the wounds and touch Him, then I will know. And then He appears to some 500 people at the same time, and then He appears to Yaakov. Who's, some references here as 1 Corinthians 15 is a good place. Mark 16, John 20, Matthew 28. The road to Emmaus is Luke 24. Don't have time to go all into it. But He would come up in enduring the Omer. 10 days before He gets to Shavuot, He ascends. Okay?
So, sorry, on that note, is that then, because I also read somewhere that they believed that it was on the 40th day that He...
It was, because He taught His disciples for 40 days. And then He said, hang around here, it's around the 40th day. Okay, because remember, He ascended, so when we start counting the Omer, it would be after the Shabbat. So you're probably looking at about 43 days more or less. Okay? And then He comes up and He still teaches them. And let's look at the images for a little bit. Okay? So He goes, what What did this teach us? What did he say? What was this going to do? What was the point?
Protection.
No, not protection. He was going to protect you.
Led them.
He led them. Follow me. If we look at that, what was God's call? Yeshua said, Lech achorai, come and follow after me. Time and time and time again. Even when he was resurrected and he started to reteach his disciples and help them understand what had happened, bringing them back in, the Great Commission says, in you're going, make disciples and teach them all that I've taught you. Just like I did, now you go and do. Baptize them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And surely if you do this, I will be with you till the end of the age. Who can doubt? He's standing here with us. Okay? If we look at this mikvah, we understand that, as we discussed, it was about the crucifixion. It was about this move from, when he spoke to Nicodemus, he said, unless a man is born of what? Water and spirit. Water and ruach, you cannot see the kingdom of God. Same picture. I change you when you have enough faith to pass through the waters, knowing that I will get you to the other side. You've never seen this done before, but I want you to hold on, take a walk with Daddy. We're going to do some crazy stuff. So he brings them out. They were slaves on this side, fearing their past. And when they got through and they saw their past washed away, they saw the Egyptians die. They stood up for the first time as a free nation in 400 years. What do we do now? We've been so busy being told what we have to do, how we need to act, which law we have to obey, which gods we have to look at. Now what, Lord? You're free. So he takes them and he mikvahs them. Again, Great Commission. Well, I'm talking about this one. After he's resurrected, he tells Miriam and them, he says, tell Peter and them, go to Galilee. I'll meet them there. And they follow their rabbi's instructions and they walk across, even some of them not seeing him, and then they would go over to have this appointed time, this meeting with God. Okay? So I'm going to put in there Galilee as well. Alright? The waters of Mara. Bitterness. What was bitter about it? Think about that time. You've been following this rabbi for 3.5 years. You think he is the Messiah, and then he done be dead. Problem. On the road to Omer, remember they were walking, and then a guy pitched up, and they're like, what are you guys talking about? And he's like, what if you've been born under a rock? Have you not known that this Messiah, this Jesus of Nazareth, this Yeshua that we thought was a Messiah, is now being dead and killed by the Romans? What now? He was crucified. Torah says anything that is hung on a tree is cursed. How can he be the Messiah, number one, if he's dead and if he's cursed? Jews today struggle with that same thing. But he took on your iniquities. That's what made him cursed. That's why he died. Bitterness. You thought you were going one way only to arrive at a place, and you were like, this isn't the place I wanted to go. You said promised land. 3 days later, 3 days, I'm wondering whether he existed at all. Why am I here? So I'm going to put you on mass. And maybe. Alright. Takes him to here. 12, he said to the 12 tribes. 12 also, the number of disciples. Right? So tell me them. Great Commission. This is what I'm going to make you. I'm going to make you righteous. I'm going to give you that fruit because I'm going to prune you and lovingly teach you and get them to the place. For 40 days afterwards, he taught them. He prepped them. Remember the promises about living water coming out of them. If you drink of me, that living water is going to come and flow to these people. You will become that source because God is with you. He's in you. So through the wisdom of God, he's going to make them righteous. He's going to make them life-giving. And then he's going to send them out to a place where they need it. Was he limb found in the lush valleys of the Galilee, or was he in the desert? So sometimes you've got to leave the beautiful areas and you've got to go and help people and give them water to drink, and you've got to show them what righteousness is, but you've got to go to places where you're not comfortable. Okay? Mana. Tell me. Bread of life. Daily bread. Teach them what I've taught you. Again, his images come back. You need to be able to... What did he teach? Rabbi taught Torah. So he comes up and he says, give them Torah. Give them me. But help them understand it with the right heart. Remember, we're today, as at that time, Torah has been perverted into something that it's not. It's become a thing of laws and not a thing of instruction. It has become a thing of hardness. And I don't have to do that, and we become stiff-necked instead of an invitation to follow God as He has called you to. You either obey your father lovingly, or you give him 50 reasons why you shouldn't. The instruction is the same. Your heart is what decides. You can either think of how many reasons why you shouldn't have to do it, but I tell you one reason why you should. That He said. Are you going to love your father, or are you going to give him a lip every time he asks you to do something? Don't moan about your relationship before you can say to him is no. A loving son, a loving daughter will hear their father's question or instruction, and they will respond accordingly. Okay? It's funny that when we look at the manna, they literally have daily bread, right? But He appeared to them almost at different stages. He had sections of He appeared here, He appeared here, He appeared here. As they did, day to day, they would hear stories about this Messiah, the bread of life, appearing. And it would help you grow in faith. He hasn't just appeared to Miriam and Martha. He hasn't just appeared there. He hasn't just appeared there. He's appeared, and even 500 have seen Him. Are you going to Galilee, or are you going to hang around here? Is there a chance? Some of the other disciples said they saw Him. Are you going to go find out? It's funny that Quayle talks about the flesh. Remember I said to you, these two things, they came up, is God with us? Reminded me of Thomas. Unless I stick my finger in the holes, I will not believe. Is He real? Is He here? And God answers not only just with a 3-day supply of well. He steps into the house where Thomas is, and he says, Thomas, literally in Hebrew means the twin. He says, how about it, my boy? And he came and he touched him. And he felt the wounds. And he was now up at him. He said, blessed are you because you have seen, but even more blessed are those who believe and haven't. That's you, by the way. You don't need to see the wounds. You don't need to see the body. You don't need to see it. You know because He's here. So when you look at that and I ask the question, it reminded me of Thomas. Rephidim, there was this war that happened. And remember, we find these guys hiding away. You find them hiding away from these Judeans who killed the Messiah. You find them sort of scattering all over the place. And it was only when He started appearing that they started to bring praise back into it. And then they started to overcome. And then they started to stand on the mountain, Mount of Olives. And they started to look up. What the angel says to him when he ascends after he gives him the Great Commission. He says, why are you still looking up at the sky? Don't worry, he's going to come back in exactly the same way. But didn't he tell you that he had to win? See, you want victory. You want that living water. You've got to do what you need to do. You've got to fulfill that Great Commission. You don't run around making converts, you make disciples. It is an intimate, long process of being involved in people's lives, normally for about 7 years. Until you get them, invest in them enough so that they can go and teach their own. It's so easy to go to church and go to synagogue and you sit there and you just get fed, and you go, oh, that was great. And then leave and you don't change. Nothing happens in your life. You listen to a sermon, you feel good because you were there, and then you leave and you do not change anything. He never said make converts, he said make disciples. Train people up, get them invested. It is my job to push you into the Word, not to listen to me explain the Word. There is a teacher greater than me. The Holy Spirit, Yeshua, who's your rabbi. Listen to Him. But you need to spend time. You need to go get your manna. You need to eat from Him so you can grow, so He can lead you. And then when He says, all right, enough's enough, it's time for you to branch out. Me, I smile. And I send you on your way. Because He has a plan and a purpose for you. And you can stand up and you can say, Adonai Nissi, the Lord is my miracle. But there's a wonderful, beautiful player. Oh, the Lord is my banner. Yeah, still not with that. When you look at this Nesi, if you look at Nes Cafe, Nes means miracle. Miracle coffee, right? That's why you feel so perky when you wake up in the morning. Right? The Lord is my miracle. He is the one who is doing this through me. He is the one who saved me. He is the one who resurrected me. He is the one who's taken me stage for stage to stage to stage to teach me one beautiful truth. And I know I'm being naughty, my wife's going to shout at me, but I want you guys quickly just to look at Isaiah 61. Remember what I read in Exodus 19. I've carried you, I've brought you unto me for the very purpose of, you will be a kingdom of priests, you will be a holy nation. Listen to what this says. The spirit of Adonai Elohim is upon me because Adonai has anointed me. This is exactly the portion that Messiah alluded to when he was sitting in Nazareth. And when he stops and he says, this word has now been fulfilled in your eyes, and then they went, such wonderful things you say. Listen to what he says. To announce the good news to the poor, he has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom to the captives, to let out into the light those bound in the dark, to proclaim the year of favor, the year of Jubilee, of Adonai, the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn. Yes, provide those in Zion who mourn, giving them garlands instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, the cloak of praise instead of a heavy spirit, so that they will be called oaks of righteousness, planted by Adonai, in which He takes pride. Elim, right? We will rebuild the ancient ruins, restore the sites long destroyed, and they will renew their ruined cities destroyed many generations ago. In my opinion, today God is restoring the foundations of the Word. He's bringing Torah back. Okay? Strangers will stand and feed your flocks. Foreigners will plow your land and tend your vines. But you will be called Kochanim of Adonai, spoken of as ministers to our God. You will feed them with the wealth of the nations and revel in their riches. You see, that prophecy is coming again. And then we fast forward quickly to 1 Peter. 1 Peter verse 2. Yeah, I should do this before I start teaching. No way, I don't have to look through it. Let me know if someone gets it before me, please.
1 Peter verse 2.
1 Peter 2 verse 9. Yes, please.
But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people, that you may proclaim the praise of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light.
Have you guys heard that? Did you hear it? Yes, no, maybe? Right. So even Peter stops and he says, you have been called a kingdom of priests. one more, because I found this interesting. Go to Revelations, chapter 1. And it's Bible pages, you stick together. Right. Chapter 1, verse 6. Let me read one up. To him the one who loves us, who has freed us from our sins at the cost of his blood, who has caused us to be a kingdom that is kohanim for God his Father, to him be the glory and the rulership forever and ever. Amen. God shakes heaven and earth and he teaches you these things and he links up and he ties up and he says, all right, you understand that I'm God, that I have distinguished between my people and not, that I have no equal. And I have taken you from that time on, start counting the days. I will be the Passover lamb. I will pay the price so that you will have blood covering you, so that judgment will pass over you. You will be covered in the righteousness of the lamb. And from that time on, I want you to count 7 sevens. You understand why the rabbi said it's a time of introspection, it's a time of focusing on where you are. He says, you've cleaned up the commits, you're bringing new people in, but I promise you there's going to be stages, but I will lead you. I will part the seas. I will make your bitterness sweet. I will make you wisdom and I will make you a wellspring. I will be your daily portion and from faith to faith you will grow. The quail, again, even those, when I appear, when I'm here, how can you doubt if I'm with you or not? How can you doubt my love for you? You are celebrating a time that he went to his death knowing that you needed it. How can you doubt his love? And win this battle, go out with praise. Stand up and lift your arms up and look up to the sky. He ascended into the clouds. He's going to come back from the clouds. Revelation, the next verse says, look, he's coming with the clouds. Every eye will see him. Get your mind off the person or the battle and look up. Because that brings victory. All so that you can be carried by your Father, to bring you to the point that you understand that you are holy, that you are set apart, and that you are his priesthood. So when you count this Omer, you are bringing in the fullness of everything that he promised. Everything that he's done, that he's going to do in your lives, and stage through stage. If you yield, listen, unless you're praising really lots, and then it's perfect. If you just stop and focus on Hashem, if you, instead of clashing against each other, instead of looking to beat out whoever's in front of you, instead just look up and go, Abba, let's do this. You did not bring me this far to die. You brought me this far to go to the promised land. The best way is God's way. Because when you get there, it won't just be a plot of land with your wealth. It'll be a plot of land with the love of God in you so you can do what you need to do and not just get so focused on stuff. God is not against blessing you and making you comfortable financially. But there are going to be times where if you get so focused on that, He's going to put you through a wilderness moment to check your priorities. And He wants you to see, will you praise me throughout it? Will you stand with me? Will you follow me? The cost of discipleship is high, people. He only gave His life and He requires your life. Was His life enough? Make sure you don't put the addendums, right? Yeah, no, I want Christ and that. Then I will follow you. You see, this invitation was always about, I'll show you who I am, will you follow? We need to go on our Galilee wilderness. We need to take our faith and walk across those seas. We need to take a step up and we're going to climb into it. So when you count the Omer, remember what you're declaring. Okay? You can switch off the light. I want to chat to you guys for